Alright, everyone's going to obsess over the stars before game 2. Brunson, Wembanyama, Towns. But the truth is, this series might be decided by something far less glamorous and far more important. Possessions. So here's the question that actually matters on Friday. Which team gets more cracks at the basket? Because in a series this tight, that's the whole ballgame. Because when two great teams play a rock fight, points are scarce. And when points are scarce, the team that simply gets more shots at the rim usually wins. There are only two ways to get extra possessions: win the rebounding battle and win the turnover battle. So let's break down the possession war, the real matchup that decides game 2. This is Game is Culture. Real quick before we get into it, if you like breakdowns that actually show the math instead of just yelling takes at you, go hit subscribe. It's free and it genuinely helps, so click it. First, the good news for San Antonio. They won the glass. In game 1, the Spurs out-rebounded the Knicks 54-49, and on the offensive glass, where the extra possessions are born, they grabbed 14 to New York's 10. So even on a brutal shooting night, San Antonio was creating second chances. Their identity on the boards held up. That's the part they got right. And that matters enormously because an offensive rebound is the most valuable possession in basketball. It's a free trip against a defense that already broke down once and has to scramble back. So the Spurs were generating exactly the kind of high-value chances that win low-scoring games. They had the possession weapon working, and they still lost. So what went wrong? Here's what went wrong. They gave it all back. Look at the turnovers. The Spurs coughed it up 13 times. The Knicks, only 8. So San Antonio gained extra possessions on the glass, then handed them right back with careless giveaways. Every offensive rebound they fought for got canceled out by a turnover they didn't have to commit. The math simply broke even. So here's the net result. The Spurs were +5 on the boards and -5 on turnovers. Added up, and the possession war was essentially a wash. They did the hard thing, winning the glass, and undid it with the avoidable thing, the giveaways. In a 10-point loss, that self-inflicted wound is the entire story. So here's the key to game 2. It's not complicated. Keep the rebounding edge and cut the turnovers in half. That's it. If the Spurs grab 14 offensive rebounds again, but turn it over 6 or 7 times instead of 13, they suddenly win the possession war by a wide margin. And in a rock fight, more possessions plus their natural shooting regression equals a win. And the source of those turnovers points right at the fix. Because Wembanyama alone had 6 of the 13, so this isn't a team-wide epidemic. It's largely the franchise player being a little too loose with the ball. Tighten that up, make simpler reads, and a huge chunk of the problem disappears on its own. So the possession war comes down to 3 levers. Keep crashing the offensive glass where San Antonio already has the edge. Protect the ball, especially through Wembanyama. And get back in transition to stop New York from turning any Spurs miss into an easy runout. Win those 3 and you win the math of the game. Real quick though, if you've made it this far, you've really gotta hit subscribe. I'm not going to beg, but I am going to ask. So hit it and I'll wait. And here's why this battle matters even more in a rock fight. Because in a normal, high-scoring game, an extra possession or two barely registers. There are plenty of points to go around, but in a grind where both teams are shooting in the 30s and 40s, every single trip is precious. A few extra cracks at the basket in a game where baskets are scarce can be the entire margin of victory. Possessions are currency, and in a rock fight, the price goes up. And that's exactly the kind of game this series is shaping up to be. The Knicks won it slow and ugly. Game 1 was slow and ugly. So if this becomes a grinded out battle every night, the possession war isn't a side stat. It's the main event. The team that consistently gets 4 or 5 more shots at the rim in games decided by single digits is going to win this series.
And there's a hidden weapon for San Antonio buried in this. Their offensive rebounding doesn't just create points, it demoralizes a defense. Because nothing breaks a team's spirit like playing perfect defense for 24 seconds, forcing a miss, and then watching a Spur tip it back out for a fresh shot clock. So winning the glass isn't only math, it's a psychological hammer swung over and over. Now what does New York want? The exact opposite. New York wants to keep forcing those turnovers with their long, active hands, and they want to clean up their own defensive glass to deny San Antonio the second chances. Their formula in Game 1 was simple. Lose the rebounding battle a little, but win the turnover battle by enough to come out ahead in possessions. And it worked. And that's the chess match within the game. If the Spurs stop turning it over, the Knicks have to find a new edge, because they're likely to keep losing the rebounding battle. So New York may have to gang rebound, sacrifice some of their transition game, and grind even harder to stay even on possessions. The team that wins this quiet war probably wins Game 2. But let's be honest about the limits of this, because possessions only matter if you actually convert them. The Spurs could win the possession war by 10 and still lose if they keep shooting 26% from 3. So extra chances are a powerful edge, but they're not a guarantee. You still have to make the shots those chances create. Possession is the door. Shooting is what walks through it. And turnovers are not always just carelessness. Some of San Antonio's giveaways were forced by New York's elite defense and quick hands. So cutting them from 13 to 7 isn't purely a matter of effort. It's a matter of beating a defense that's specifically designed to take the ball away. Easier said than done under finals pressure. So I'm gonna leave it with you. Can the Spurs keep dominating the glass and finally stop giving the ball away? Or will New York's ball-hawking defense keep winning the possession war and the series with it? So tell me down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe. We're in a race to 1,000 subscribers, so please join the family.